The WWC, what the world is watching.
Well, how powerful are these mixed squads? Let's get into it.
600 plus days of last war grinding, battle spawn, lessons learned, strategies mastered. When we talk, you level up. Welcome to the Warzone Wrecking Crew.
Welcome everybody to the WWC QB18 here with another video on some Battlefield Operation Sandbox in full effect as we practice some things, looking at some numbers and figures. Before I get into some of these numbers, videos that I have coming up to share some more data points, I wanted to go over some of the mixed squad experiments I've been running in truck. And I've been seeing people who follow us in Winter Storm thanking us and talking about how they're in Winter Storm right now practicing mixed squad battles. And man, it just brings this enormous smile to my face to know that we're making a difference out there and everybody's loving the content to the point that they're practicing what we're preaching. I love that we're making a difference in Last War and we're doing it all together. Huge fan. And that's why I wanted to bring you some more things that I've been practicing as well to you and taking in your feedback and having these amazing conversations. So I was struggling with, there was a tank squad that was beating me, and it had an advantage. It had a little bit of an advantage on me at the time. It's around 3 million. Unfortunately, the battle is now, it disappeared from my tank reports. But I did want to go over what I did do was take some of the squad mixing and before I really get into that, one of the things that we had already talked about for those you know is with air. So we've run the numbers and we've shown that Sarah clearly with our air squads is incredibly powerful. Also, you want to mix Murphy in here. Murphy is very powerful as well. In the squad, it's proven out to be it, especially against like a tank squad. It works well. But I have actually seen the numbers as I'm running, and it looks like, for me, if you keep Sarah in, you still keep Sarah acting as Marshall, for those that don't know, in this, where she is buffing. And I've pushed Sarah now. I focused on Sarah's tactics, or her skills, I should say, to be maxed out for the tactics here and the auto attack, because that was her power, and then the tactics level here, which is her buff. I have not done this, which is showing dealing against monsters in battle. So I haven't pushed this for World Boss yet, but I will to help with World Boss to open up rewards. But I say for battle, these were the two to max out that were important, right? And she doesn't have a ton of gear on for me. And here she has 4 dots, no mythics, I should say. So 4 dots for me that she has with my air squad. So that's what she is acting in battle. Battles have been phenomenal. So keeping with that trend, I didn't know what to do with my missile squad because I was getting beat by tanks. And I had heard, as I talked to one of the VIP 18s a while ago, to give the tank mix in here of Murphy, but Marshall is the top one to try. And as I started experiment moving Marshall around, Marshall has been unbelievable in these tank battles. So when you think about it, I was losing consistently in the early goings. It was back and forth we were having, and I was trying to find the right place to put Marshall. So you can see here that I attacked with Marshall. I haven't lost yet attacking with Marshall. It's been with the defense. So in this one, my defense failed right away. I had to move around. So then I had some more in the past. And we've gone back and forth. And then I had a victory in defense, but then my defense failed. So I decided, okay, I'm going to move it around again. And it was so effective that I actually had a message. This one was the first try defense failed. And then I had the message of right here, when we get into victory and defense failed, victory. So now you look here, and this was the same battle here, the same truck, where he attacked victory and defense, victory in defense, victory in defense, victory in defense, victory, victory. And then finally, he got me with a defense failed. And he actually messaged me and he said, oh my God, it took me, he said in the message it took him 10 times. I don't know if that was 10, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that was 8. He said 10, but I think, 8. So he tried the same attack. So the squads that was working was Marshall back right, Adam back and moving. I moved Swift up to here, to front. I tried Swift here, so it's easier to see here opposite Gorilla. So it's more like, it looks like this in your battle squads here. So you can see Adam in the 1 spot, Swift in the 2, then Tesla, McGregor, and then Marshall. Okay, and it was incredibly effective, as you can see. Granted, it didn't stop every single one. I ended up losing the 9th battle or whatever it was, right? So I ended up losing this one just by a thin margin right here with Murphy, where he threw Kim in the front, finally to counter the front attacker. Because I use 5 exclusive weapons, so it does give me a little bit of a bump up anytime you use the 5, and that's where the bump and advantage, I think it was really like a 72 or a 71 million march that I was using, and it bumps it up. It's not really 7, it is 74, but don't forget, I lose the buff advantage. Like here, if you look at the power, he has 11.5 to 9. Because I lose the buff advantage by getting rid of a missile. So I no longer have... If I had that tactic card of 4+1 that's during the season, man, would that be valuable. But I don't. But I will say that during the battles, you can see using that buff advantage of what we talk about really bumps up everybody's power numbers. I mean, look at Tesla's 38.9 million and Swift in the front 20.4. I will say that this was the best formula that I saw as I was going through the numbers that I used. It just blew up Tesla's numbers. And you can try to move this. Like if you don't have all mythics to use, you might not want to put Swift in the front, which is okay. You can go back to the normal squad of Adam and still put Marshall in the back row, and you'll see a buff advantage for it. So similar to Sarah, right? So it's doing the same thing for here. One last note I want to make for these mixed squads, because if you want to try this out with your tank team, I highly recommend trying to use Adam as one of the heroes that has been phenomenal. I personally have not tested. I will not recommend to use it, but I have heard that Adam works well for tank units. Tank units is my 3rd squad, so I don't really... I'm not capitalizing on tanks right now, but I will be running tests for it, throwing gear on it, and looking at the differences between them for our Operation Sandbox to benefit everybody. I can still show where the lineups are and the benefits from a fit numbers perspective, but from an everyday attacking perspective, I don't really attack with tanks necessarily. So I don't use Adam, but I will. But for these two, what I can recommend is I use Sarah and I'm using Marshall in my everyday squads right now for attacks. People have asked, what do I do? What have I done with Fiona? So far, right now with Fiona, I have thrown Fiona into my 4th squad, and I do a mix of a 3-2, a 3-tank, 2 missile 4th squad that I'm using, which I have up to 46 million right now. So my 4th squad is actually starting to become decent because I'm actually being able to throw some of the heroes in the mix squad with Sarah coming out. And now also, once I have more gear on tank, I'm also going to look into putting Scarlet into the tank squad and then maybe be able to shift another hero to my 4th squad and build that out. But anyway, those are right now what I would tell you for mixed squads. I want you to give a try and give me feedback what you're seeing in your everyday fighting with Sarah and Marshall with your missiles. Try Adam with your tanks, and I want to hear your feedback so we can have the conversation and talk to each other, okay? with that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. QB18 out.